Hare Krishna. Today we are going to study the 11th verse of the 5th chapter of Bhagwat Gita as it is. The name of this chapter is Karma Yoga, that is, action in Krishna consciousness. And in today's verse, Krishna is going to teach us how a yogi does all his work being detached with the fruits of his actions only for the purification of mind. It's a very important thing that Krishna is going to teach us, that how a yogi does all his work being completely detached with the fruits of his actions, and he does only for the purification of the mind. Now let us recite the verse number 11. Kaena manasa buddhaya kevale indriyerapi yoginah karma kurvanti sangam tyaktva atmashuddhaye. Kaena manasa buddhaya kevaler indriyerapi yoginah karma kurvanti sangam tyaktva atmashuddhaye. Kaena manasa buddhaya kevaler indriyerapi yoginah karma kurvanti sangam tyaktva atmashuddhaye. Krishna says, the yogis, abandoning attachment, act with body, mind, intelligence, and even with the senses, only for the purpose of purification. The yogis act with body, mind, intelligence, and even with the senses. Kayena manasa buddhaya kevala indriyerapi. Why do they do it? Only for the purpose of purification. Karma kurvanti sangam tyaktva atma shuddhaya. Now let us read the Anvay given by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur ki jai. Kayena, with the body. Manasa, with the mind. Buddhaya, with the intelligence. Kevaleh, with only. Indriyeh, the senses. Api, even. Yoginah, the yogis. Karma, action. Kurvanti, performs. Sangam, attachment. Tyaktva, giving up. Atma Shuddha, for the purification of the mind. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, a yogi gives up all attachments and acts with his body, mind, and intelligence, just to purify the mind. Sometimes he performs action only with his senses, not even engaging his mind. Srila Chakravarti Pad explains this with the example of a father-mother who are doing havan for their child's marriage ceremony. Now, it is so often seen that the parents are offering the havan ingredients in the fire, but their mind and attention is at their guests, and with their eyes they welcome guests, simultaneously do havan and exchange pleasantries with guests by nodding head. And very rarely the Brahman who is conducting the havan ceremony may tell the parents of the bride or the bridegroom to pay attention while offering the havan ingredients or ghee to the havan kund. This example is only to make us realize that all of us do many things with our body, senses, intelligence, but without mind being present there. Many times we go to many social gatherings without any liking and just for the sake of social commitments. So we all are familiar with this type of work where the mind is not involved. In today's verse, Krishna says that a yogi gives up all attachments and does the work with his body, mind, and intelligence only to purify his mind. Now let us read and understand this very important verse by reading the purport of Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Anant Koti Vaishnavon ki jai. Srila Prabhupada says that by acting in Krishna consciousness for the satisfaction of the senses of Krishna, any action, whether of the body, mind, intelligence, or even of the senses, is purified of material contamination. It means clearly that when somebody does his work in Krishna consciousness for the satisfaction of Krishna, and whether the work is done with the body, mind, or intelligence, or even with the senses, it is completely purified of material contamination because the sole intention is to make Krishna happy. There are no material reactions resulting from these activities of a Krishna conscious person. Therefore, purifying activities, which are generally called sadachar, can be easily performed by acting in Krishna consciousness. Srila Rupa Goswami, in his Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, describes this as follows. Iha yasya haredasye karmana manasa gira nikhilasva api avasthasu jivan mukta sa uchyate. Srila Rupa Goswami says that a person acting in Krishna consciousness, or in other words, in the service of Krishna, with his body, mind, intelligence, and words, is a liberated person even within the material world. Although he may be engaged in some so-called material activities, such a person has no false ego, nor does he believe that he is this material body, nor that he possesses the body. He knows that he is not this body and that this body does not belong to him. He himself belongs to Krishna and the body too belongs to Krishna. When he applies everything produced of the body, mind, intelligence, words, life, wealth, etc., whatever he may have within his possession, to Krishna's service, he is at once dovetailed with Krishna. He is one with Krishna and is devoid of the false ego that leads one to believe that he is the body. This is the perfect stage of Krishna consciousness. So in Srila Prabhupada's purport, we have understood that what is the perfect stage of Krishna consciousness. A person who does everything having the knowledge that he is not his body, and he himself and his body both are the property of Krishna. So whatever is done with the body, mind, intelligence, everything should be to serve Krishna. This kind of consciousness is the perfect Krishna consciousness, where the person doesn't do anything for his own personal happiness, and everything that he possesses, including his body, is engaged in the service of Krishna. Srila Prabhupada explains that the word yogi, which is mentioned in this verse, means a karma yogi who is also a tattvavit. Tattvavit means a person who is connected with the Supreme Lord, having complete knowledge that Krishna is the Supreme God of the entire creation, and he himself is soul and not this body. He is a part and parcel of Krishna, and both his body and he himself are the property of Krishna. That is why his body, mind, intelligence, senses, and he, the spirit soul, should be serving Krishna. Such a person is known as a yogi. A yogi is fully aware that everything belongs to only Krishna, and all the work which he does with his body, mind, and intelligence is actually given to him by Krishna. And having this complete knowledge, he knows that he doesn't do anything independently. So, why should he be attached with the fruits of his actions? So, he becomes detached with the fruits of his actions, but continues to do all sorts of work in this material world with his body, senses, and intelligence, but not with his mind. Such a person is devoid of false ego, nor does he believe that he is this material body, nor that he possesses the body. He knows that he is not this body and that this body does not belong to him. Srila Prabhupada says that this is the first teaching of Bhagwat Gita, that you are not this body, but you are the spirit soul and a part and parcel of Krishna. The people who read and understand Bhagavad Gita as it is, under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master, understand this ultimate truth, then start doing Karma Yoga for the purification of the mind, and with continuous process of Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga means Karma Sannyas, where everything is done only with the sanction of Krishna or scriptures and not for one's own sense gratifications. Sannyas does not mean inaction. Rather, it means not doing anything for personal happiness but doing everything for the pleasure of Krishna. This is Karma Sannyas, and this stage is achieved by continuous practice of Karma Yoga. Such a person is called a yogi, who does all his work like any other ordinary person would do, but he is completely detached from the fruits of his work and neither considers himself to be the doer of his work. He does all his work only for the purification of his mind. Srila Prabhupada gives a beautiful analogy of a bank cashier. The bank cashier counts thousands and lakhs of rupees every day, but he knows that neither he is the money nor the money belongs to him. He just counts money and deposits it as a part of his duty. This is exactly like a lotus flower and leaf, though being submerged in water, yet not affected by water. Bhagavad Gita is teaching us the correct process of doing work, because in 84 lakhs of species, only humans are meant to do karma, and rest all the other species are only for enjoying the fruits of their past life karma. And only the human birth is the gate from where one can come out of the endless cycle of birth, death, old age, and disease. But when this precious human life is only wasted in enjoying, then it is a sheer wastage of the rare opportunity to end all kinds of sufferings of birth, death, old age, and disease. Srila Prabhupada says that if we understand the feelings of Krishna, then we will never hurt Krishna. Krishna is our permanent parent, and when he sees us suffering and struggling for the temporary things in this material world, he feels very sorry. And for this reason, he gave us Bhagavad Gita and sent Srila Prabhupada to teach us Bhagavad Gita so that we learn the art of Karma Yoga and establish our long lost connection with Krishna and get back to him. In today's verse, it is very nicely explained that the yogis, abandoning attachment, act with the body, mind, and intelligence, and even with the senses, only for the purpose of purification of heart and mind. Reading Bhagavad Gita means to understand it and apply it in our daily life. Respecting Bhagavad Gita means to work in accordance with Bhagavad Gita. Srila Prabhupada and all our acharyas have given us purport so that we may understand Bhagavad Gita in an easy manner and start doing karma yoga instead of karma. Karma binds with the result of the action, and karma yoga liberates from all reactions of actions because it is only done for the ultimate proprietor Krishna. I thank Srila Prabhupada, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, and my Shiksha Guru for explaining to us Bhagavad Gita in the most simplest manner, giving us examples from this material world, like we saw the example of the bank cashier and the lotus leaf. Srila Prabhupada always says that Krishna has very mercifully given us human form of life and Bhagavad Gita. Now we have to be merciful on our own selves, because if we don't read Bhagavad Gita under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master, then we will continue to do all the actions only to satisfy our own senses, which will never get satisfied because everything in this material world is temporary and we are spirit soul, which is permanent. So how can we get satisfied with anything that is temporary? In this material world, the beauty, wealth, fame, power and intelligence that we see all around us is temporary. So instead of working hard day and night to achieve the temporary happiness, if we turn our consciousness towards Krishna and do everything only for the happiness of Krishna, then we are doing karma yoga instead of karma. I am sure that we all have properly understood the meaning of karma yoga. I thank Srila Prabhupada for making us understand so gently the most secretive knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. And I thank you for listening to Bhagavad Gita so attentively and patiently. Now we shall meet next week with the verse number 12. Till then, keep chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Please do share the Bhagavad Gita videos with your other contacts, and just in case you have any questions, please write it in the comment box. I shall try to answer with the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Anant Koti Vaishnavon ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunda Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunda Bihari